What does the war actually look like? Let's say that China feels confident that the only way that Taiwan is going to join China, which is again a legal imperative, is if they forcibly invade. Blockade isn't working, negotiation isn't working. The first strike on Taiwan would likely look like just another Chinese provocative ADIZ flyover. China's done this hundreds of times, so at this point Taiwan thinks that they're just doing another one of their routine flex our military might exercises. But this time, the fighter jet turns towards the island and begins firing. At the same time, China fires guided missiles from the mainland and deploys tons more jets, and they all start firing in a fast, highly coordinated attack. The target here is anything that Taiwan can use to defend itself, like weapons that can shoot down planes or boats that are coming onto the island. I mean, this could be anything. Radar, communication nodes, military command centers, navy bases, bridges, communication networks, power stations, even government buildings. They would have a wide variety of targets to effectively deny Taiwan the ability to respond effectively. I mean, unfortunately for Taiwan, a lot of these targets are left out in the open. They're easy to see. A runway is really easy to see and really hard to hide. This first attack would happen very quickly. One military expert, Ian Easton, put it very succinctly when he said, assuming the intent is invasion, these attacks could be expected to be concentrated in a short time frame as a prelude to invasion with no pauses other than those required for moving, reloading, and repairing equipment. Whew. Sounds horrible. So Taiwan's leaders are caught off guard and they immediately retreat underground to a command bunker where they can plan their response. Luckily, China will not be able to take out all of their military targets. Some of their aircraft hangars are deep in mountains, and some of their missile sites are really well camouflaged. They would escape the bombardment, so Taiwan would have the ability to respond. They would likely be able to get some air power into the air and fire some missiles towards mainland China to hit air bases, radar, and military batteries on the mainland. At this point, Taiwan also sends troops to their western beaches to start laying mines and preparing for an oncoming barrage of Chinese troops who are probably now on their way across the strait. This has all happened within just a few hours, and the US is just barely hearing about this. China has likely jammed much of the communication channels that would allow the US to have a clear picture of what's going on. This will slow their response time. The thing is, China has gotten really good at sending little robots up to satellites in space, their civilian satellites, to help repair them. They could use this same technology to latch onto an American spy satellite and block its ability to view what's happening on the ground. Yes, we're now talking about conflict in space as a feasible part of this scenario. So the US is trying to get up to speed. The US president and military leaders now have to decide how they're gonna respond. Are they gonna risk American lives to protect this faraway island? It's something that the American public broadly would not be into, but they have to do something. They have to make a plan. Meanwhile, back over in the strait, Taiwan's military assets are severely damaged, and China is now sending hundreds of thousands of troops and loads of supplies across this 130-kilometer stretch of water. They're using boats of all kinds, military boats, merchant boats that don't need to defend themselves because Taiwan can't respond adequately, and each of these vessels is carrying tons of supplies and troops. But again, on Taiwan's western beaches, there are probably Taiwanese troops who have been planting mines ready for this invasion. So there's now a battle on the beaches as Chinese amphibious attackers try to hit the beaches and push back the Taiwanese defense. We're gonna continue assuming Taiwan doesn't give up and capitulate and surrender to China at this point.